I think bifacial now has become the industry benchmark for many projects. The gain from the bifacial, from the reverse side, commensurates to justify lightly higher price right now, and prices are moving down every day. In fact, we see in most of our biggest bids, gigawatt scale bids, that bifacial is a product of choice. Most of the EPCs in respective to geography, talk about Chinese EPCs, Indian EPCs, or European EPCs, all of them are very comfortable and eager to give their proposals based on bifacial, and that they are happy to stand behind its warranties. I definitely think that bifacial is the product of the future because the various infrastructures are now moving together to bid for better. We have seen banks now more eager every day to support bifacial projects. In most of our bids, we are using bifacial. Almost all categories of banks are very happy to support them. The commercial banks, the government financial institutions, or the ECAs, all the banks are now fully on board to support bifacial. Because of all these things, I think bifacial will definitely scale up very soon. There is a challenge in terms of lack of field data, but I think the challenge is not insurmountable. Because we have seen even without field data, the developers are relying on the advisor's reports, etc., to back up the performance of warranty of bifacial. So that's already happening. And even this lack of field data, we get sourced within a couple of years. This year, we have seen projects with bifacial coming to COD. And in the next couple of years, we will have good history of the field data that will allow banks, developers, EPCs to go more aggressively on the bifacial product offerings, which would further the bifacial worldwide.
So for the Swan series products, I think there are three key benefits that's worth talking about. Number one is the higher efficiency in terms of power generation. So people who have used these products, obviously they have done the analysis, and the increase in terms of power generation is much more than what they have invest in the capex cost. So I think that's one key benefit. And the higher efficiency would also translate into smaller land use. That would save up a lot of times in terms of land acquisitions in those solar farm projects. So the second benefit that I think is worth talking about is the lighter weight of the system. So that will translate into lighter or rather smaller BOS costs. And also, for some of the industry, commercial and industrial factories, previously they will have certain restriction because of the way the factory is being constructed. There will be certain restriction in terms of the weight on top of their roof. So with a lighter system, it opens up a whole new market with a lot more players being able to look into using solar as an alternative. And lastly, I would say that because the Swan system is a lot easier to clean and maintain, that will save up a bit in terms of the O&M cost as well. So from an investor's perspective, we're obviously looking for higher returns, and that basically translates into looking at how much generation that we can get from a farm, versus the amount of capex cost and investment that we have to put in.